my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Eggwars. Yes, Eggwars is still good. Anime series is not canceling Eggwars. Just something extra I'm doing, so don't worry. Yes, did I miss one maybe today? I don't always have one every day, but I try. You know, I love you guys. I love you, and thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Now, your boy, a little thirsty. I'm gonna go right into the sip today. Going right in. Ooh. Purple sips for days, my friends. 4 days. You know, the Review Bra sweatshirt, it's good. It definitely insulates, makes me sweat under all my track lighting. Alright, before we get into today's story, I just want to mention my boy, Fart Crapper, the CEO of Soiree Games, the company which hath produced Neckbeard's Basement Arena and is currently in production of like 2 other titles, I believe. You know, the man's got 8,000 hours on Game Maker Studio. I've seen his Steam profile. 8,000 hours of work he's put in. He's a hard-working guy. He said he is looking for some, basically some quotes. He wants to put some quotes on the site for people who have enjoyed the product, who have enjoyed the game, or have anything good to say about it. If you would like to comment something in the description today and just notate, hey, here's a line for the site. It's cool for you to use. Fart Crapper. He's going to look through the comments at some point, and if there's any, he's just going to, so if you want to have a good quote with maybe your username, I'm not really 100% sure on how he's going to do it, but to put it up on this, you know, fan quotes for his site, soiree.info. You can go ahead and do that. So shout out to my boy Fart Crapper, and shout out to my 3 amigos as well as you know, Arto, producer Chris, and Jack Inhoff in the description as always. Alright. So with that out of the way, my friends, today we're going to be talking about something that, if you know about me, well, actually, even if, I shouldn't say if you know about me on this one, because really I've only ever gotten into this on one particularly wild stream I did some months ago, where we spent some time on Amazon.com browsing certain products. That's probably the only other time I've ever talked about this. But today, I'm going to be talking about the time that I decided it was the point in my life that I was going to purchase an 0Nahole. Now, what is an 0Nahole? You might not be familiar with that terminology, but you might be familiar with such terminology as pocket pussy, perhaps fleshlight, perhaps male erotic enjoyment product, or something of that sort. They put these weird little things on Amazon, like it's funny. It's like male pleasure products and shit like that. It's like anyway. So let us dial it back just a tad, Martin. So it was back actually. The seeds were planted in late 2012, early 2013. So at this point, I was I was having a lot of rage against women. This was probably one of my initial period that was like where I was posting heavily on 4chan, and also it was like against women. Because even at this point, I posted this shit on R9K back then, and it wasn't even like that back then. Like, people used to tell me to like get off the board with that. You know, so this is back like late 2012. But I was watching a lot of anime, and I was very, like, I liked the 2D women much more than the 3D women, because I would continuously ask out the 3D women, and they would continuously reject me, and I would get very upset. You know, I'd be like, I mean, you guys have, you know, if you've seen pictures of me back then, I mean, I was in pretty good shape. You know, I had, you know, I felt like I wasn't, you know, I felt like I was being, you know, not fairly considered by some of these women, but hey, you know, well, we know how that's turned out, you know, in the years to come. So, in any case, you know, I was just getting frustrated with women, and 2013 came around, and I was like, you know, I'm very into anime right now. I think, you know, I was browsing the anime board on 4chan quite a bit, and I was like, you know what, when I get my tax refund, because I didn't have very much money, but I knew I was going to get my tax refund in 2013, and I wanted to get a Daki Makura, or a Daka, however you pronounce it. I call it a Daki. If you don't know what that is, basically it's one of those anime body pillows. So I wanted to get one of these when I got my tax refund. I had it all planned out. I was getting the best one possible. It was going to be like $300. I was like, I don't care. I'm swearing off women for good. I don't care. Fuck them. Might be $300, but it's worth, it's worth a lot more than a woman. It's a good investment. So whatever. It's all good. So, but then a couple things happened. First off, the Daki skin that I wanted, like the cover, the particular anime female that I was interested in, she wasn't popular enough, so they didn't have for sale on, the regular sites. There was like, what the hell? I don't even remember. They're like Hobby, I don't remember. It's been so long, I don't even remember. It's been so many years, but eBay, some of these, other sites, but, I couldn't even find somebody to do it custom, because there was people who would do custom covers, but, like, first off, they always look pretty, like, fan art, not really, like, good, and I still couldn't find it. I was like, I'm paying, 50, 100, 150, whatever, I need this, and nobody would do it for me, so I got pissed off, and then, as it turned out, that year, I had to use pretty much all of my tax refund on an emergency medical bill, so really, it just kind of didn't work out at all. But, I don't know, I kind of got to where I wasn't as caring about it as much, because also then, as I mentioned before, 2013, I failed out of college, and once I failed out of college, I took on 2 jobs, so I was very, I didn't even have time to care about women, anything like that. I just was so busy, I was always staying busy, so I was working so many hours, wasn't really on my mind, didn't really care that much, until, then later in 2013, I was able to go down to 1 job. I built my computer later that year. Everything was pretty good. But so we get into 2014, and God, now I closed it already. I had here somewhere. I don't know. Fuck, I'm not gonna look it back up. I think it was like fall of 2014. Yeah, it was like November or something of 2014 when I ordered my final 0Nahole. I had ordered, I think, like 6 total. So I want to say this started at some point earlier in 2014. If I went and looked up like my Eggman posts, or maybe, I don't know, whatever the case was, it was sometime. It was in 2014, earlier 2014. So, basically, I don't remember 100% how the idea came to me, but obviously, as I hadn't been browsing 4chan for many years, J-List is always the person who's advertising on 4chan, and occasionally, I would be using a method of browsing that would not have an ad block, like my old phone, so old it didn't have ad block, and, I think my other phone that I've just used up until recently, also, I'm not sure if that had a native ad block. I might have done something with that in time, whatever the case was. So J-List was always advertising these Tengas, the Tenga whatevers, and I had looked this up before, a couple times, because it was like, oh, the Tenga eggs, it was like 10 or 15 bucks or some shit like that, single use. I don't know, but I would like look it up every now and then and be like, oh, well, maybe, but single use, 15 bucks. I was kind of a stickler. I'm like, God, I don't know. Then of course the fleshlights, they're the worst. They're the most, maybe the material is durable, I don't know, but the prices I've seen them charge on those things is ridiculous. It's insane. It's all behind this branding and hype and all this shit, because you go on some, some like 45-year-old man's on fucking like fucktube.xxx or whatever, and he's like, oh, he's getting to it, and he sees like fleshlight ad pop up. He's like, whoa, man, that'd be cool, because my wife left me 10 years ago, and I've been drinking to make all the pain go away. So maybe it'd be nice for me to, in my hourly FAP sessions, to try something a little different. And they're willing to spend $100 on a fucking fleshlight, which is a total scam, total ripoff. I mentioned this to another guy on Twitter recently too. Although, the ones that, because I mentioned, I said if it's like modeled after a chick, it's a total scam. They jack up the price on it. But then I did see some ones on Amazon that were actually pretty reasonably priced and supposedly modeled after chicks, but I don't know. I still wouldn't go with it. I feel like it's a hype tactic. They're kind of putting something else to the side. It's not as much substance. That's just my personal opinion. But in any case, so I don't remember. I want to say it was, for some reason, these Tengas that they had on Amazon. Oh, no, it wasn't Amazon. It wasn't the first one. Oh, fuck. What site was it? Whatever it was, there was some site that somebody had linked me because there was, like, this anime girl version that they were like, oh, man, this is so good. And then when I clicked on it and I was looking at it, there was, like, a Tenga deal where it was, like, 50% off. I don't really remember what that site was, actually. But I do remember that. Actually, Amazon was not the first one, because I browsed those Tengas on Amazon, but I never purchased one of the Tengas on Amazon, but it was some other site that I used. In any case, so I'm like, fuck, man, it was like 50% off for one of these, and it's like single use. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going back and forth. I'm like, oh, man. Oh, okay, fuck it, man. It was like $10 or some shit. I'm like, whatever. I'm going in. I'm going to take the leap. I'm taking the leap of faith. I'm going to see what this is all about. So it was like a 2-week shipping time, because that's another thing about these Tengas is that, like, I don't know. I don't think they're all shipped from Japan, but some of these ones are. They are shipped from Japan, and so it takes longer. But we go, I'm like, fuck it. I do it. I set it, forget it. And then one of those days, the fateful day arrives, and I get the package, to my door, and I'm like, oh, what? I was like, wait, was this? Because I hadn't even been keeping track of it. I was like, I wasn't even checking the shipping. I was like, whenever it gets here, it gets here. If it's like a month later, I might see if it got lost, but whatever, set it and forget it. So it shows up, and I'm like, okay, I get it, and I'm like, this is like, it reminds me of, there was a point in time where I wanted to, it was like this, what would you call it, experimental period where I went to the store and I purchased a bunch of, basically rubbers just to see like what they were all like. And so that was kind of like my, when I got this, I was like, that was kind of like the same frame of mind I was in. I was like, what is this? What am I going to do with this? What is this? What are we gonna, like, is it gonna be a special occasion? Should I just hop right in and see what the hell's going on? Fuck. And I did wait on it a little bit. Like, I kind of just, it was like, it was one of those things where you get it and you're like, you almost don't want to use it because you're just like, so like, what if I want to use it, some other time? But eventually I was like, okay, fuck it. So I don't really remember if I did anything special in particular. But I busted that motherfucker open, and I decided to give it a whirl. And it was kind of like this. I basically went in, and it was just like, it was obviously, it was, how should I phrase this? It was for maybe a different audience, perhaps, than I would fall into. It was kind of like, I wasn't maybe able to get the full use of the product. So I was going in, and then these Tengas, they would come, basically like one-time use. They're lubricated, and you just fucking just go at it, and you fucking boom, 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 boom. And so that is exactly what I did. And, but I was not very pleased because the size was not really what I was looking for. So I said to myself, okay, well, I like what I'm looking at here. I like this product. I quite enjoy it, as a matter of fact, and I would really like to continue using this, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. But what I was able to do through a little Google magic was I was able to find out that if I simply basically removed the end, I could easily clean this product and then continue to make some modifications to it to enhance the usage. And so that is exactly what I did. I started, I basically took it apart. I think I only used it like maybe 3 or 4 times, but I took it apart to allow for reusability and cleaning. And it was like, by the 4th time, it was, the size was just not good. It was like, it was splitting, it was like, the fucking thing was like so stretched out, it was like splitting. It was just not good. It was not right. So I was like, okay, you know what? I've tried this product. I'm quite pleased with this product. I think I'm ready to take it to the next level, all right? I've decided this is good, but we're going to see what else is out there. So the first step on the slippery slope had been stepped upon. So next up, my next product that I ordered, I decided to go for, I decided to do my research a little more, and I looked up what the hell is it? I should have pulled this shit up before I started this video. Yes, here we go. Yes, sexual wellness. That's what they call it. Doc Johnson. Yes, I ordered the Doc Johnson tube, which is currently on Amazon for $8, by the way. And the tube. Oh, yes, the tube. The tube was certainly a more. I mean, it's a tube. It is legitimately just a tube of like rubber. There's nothing fancy about it. There's no cool little things. It's literally just a tube that you fuck. But it's reversible, So like one side is like all smooth, the other side's got like little feelers in it, and that one was definitely I mean, it's solid as hell. Is like that's $8. I don't even know. You could probably fuck that thing for like a year, and it would probably still not be tearing. I mean, that thing was a goddamn champ. I'm not gonna lie on that. So I was pleased with that, but once I had gotten that, I was like, this is pretty legit. It's very solid. Construction's good, does the job, but, I wanted to try something, like I had the one, the Tenga that was like the single use, that's like premium to me. And this was kind of like, like the real low end to me. So I'm like, I'm going to try to find something a little more in between. So the next, I don't know if they sell it anymore, but it was called the Doc Johnson Super Sucker. Now, how does the Super Sucker work? Well, essentially, the way it works is it's formulated and designed in such a way that basically you put your hand on one end, and I don't know how this, because obviously the tube has an open end too, so I mean it's like, but the tube is also a little bit smaller, it's only 5 inches long, so whatever the case, the Super Sucker, that's how it was. You would put your hand on one side, and then as you pull this device, it would essentially create a force of suction, and this was only like $7-8 or maybe $9 on Amazon. I don't know if they even sell it anymore at this point. This is a few years ago, but that was pretty radical. I'm not gonna lie, and it was it was a better designed internally product. It had like all these like waves and shit on the inside. It was pretty tight. And then I had another one that I got that I also don't remember 100% what it was called. At this point, I really don't at all. I know it wasn't Doc Johnson. It was some other like chick name or something, but it was one that was it was shaped like a fucking meth pipe. It was like had like the tube and like this thing in the end, and you would basically like you'd fuck it, and it would like do all this like magic stuff, and it would basically It was some good shit. Yeah, it was pretty good. But that one was really like a pain in the ass to clean because it did not reverse very well. This was stuff like I was always maintaining this shit because I was like, oh man, this was like going to my own my own personal harem. I'd come home and be like, ooh, who's getting fucked tonight? Are we fucking the tube? Are we fucking the Super Sucker? Are we fucking whatever the other one was? I'm like, ooh, we're gonna, I'm feeling like Hugh Hefner coming home to the Playboy Bunnies, except it's tubes laying on my computer desk on a fucking plastic bag or some shit, drying after I wash them. Ooh. Of course, you could always bring it in the shower too. That was a very easy cleaning experience, to do that. But this other one, yeah, that one, I think probably I went with the Super Sucker, maybe the most. But then I ordered the one to end all ones, and actually, I'm gonna put this one in the description today because the Amazon still sells it. What was it called? The Fun Zone Vulcan Love Skin. Now this one, I don't recall exactly why. I don't have this one anymore, but I mean, this thing's $11, and I found it to be like it was fucking good material. Like it was exceptionally soft. It's very well designed, and so this Fun Zone Vulcan Love Skin. I remember I was recommending it on 4chan for a while. If anybody would ever have this is like a 1 in a million chance that anybody who's watching this video was around at that time when I was mentioning that shit. But if you were, you might recall that. And I did damage to this piece of shit for months. And it was so fantastic. It really was. And, I'm trying to remember. I used these for a while. I still kept the other ones in my rotation for a while. And I used these for probably God, I don't remember. For some months, and it would get to be where, you'd see rips and there would be the entry of them would be it start having spider web shit going on because it would just be to such a point. But at the same time, the tube, you could flip that one around, use the other end. Even the Super Sucker, you could use the other end. The one that one I don't remember. That's probably why I don't remember is because it wasn't really that great. And I can't remember if you could use the Vulcan Love Skin because on the site here it's in this container, but it comes out of the container. Oh, actually, yeah, you could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could use the other end. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I mean, for real, for all these ones that I'm talking about, all these ones, if you don't know, if you do not know about these things, man, like, I don't know, these anime ones are selling big money. The official fleshlights, man, like $100 or whatever, $70, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can get this shit on Amazon for $10, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, and it works just as good. Now, I'm not saying that you should run out and buy one right now, but I'm just saying if you've never, I mean, chicks, fucking women, they get all this random shit, and it's already easy for them to get dick whenever they want. We're out here killing ourselves trying to get some pussy when we could just be buying a fucking,0Nahole for $10 and getting, some next level experiences in that motherfucker, you know what I mean? And, let's see here. That's not really taking all the time today. Still got quite a bit of time left. So I guess, I want to tell you, so I got this phone, right? This is, I'm not shilling this phone either. None of the stuff I'm shilling today. This is just, I'm talking about stuff that I've had that I've enjoyed. So, as I talked about in my, Thanksgiving, the Varg pilled for the holidays Eggwars, I said, right before Thanksgiving, my phone basically was shitting the bed. It was not turning on. So I decided, I'm gonna get a new phone, alright? Now, my other phone, I had that since 2014, so I haven't really been into phones lately. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I got this phone on, the 20, what was it? 20, I guess, yeah, it was Wednesday night. Yeah, Wednesday night I ordered. So, in any case, this I'm going to call it the Wowie. When I worked with phones, I would call these Hawaiis, but YouTube has informed me I think you're supposed to pronounce it Wowie. So an unlocked dual SIM Wowie Honor 6X. I bought this phone for $150, and let me tell you, it is way better than my 2014 phone. That might not come to a surprise to anybody, but shit, man. When I used to sell phones, when I would, I guess I shouldn't say cell phones. When I did cell phone support, people would buy phones that were years old for $100, for a prepaid, for an unlocked phone, You weren't getting that great a quality for the most part. But I bought this shit off Amazon for $150, and it's clean, it's fast. I'm getting these new games like the Animal Crossing game. I got a game Crash Fever that I tried to play on my emulator, and the fucking shit wasn't working right, so I got this on there now. It's not really that great, but the battery life is something else. Unlocked, dual SIM, $150. I would say, I think the only things that they talked about with it that weren't very good were it doesn't do the tap to pay, and there was something else. But otherwise, it has dual camera. The front facing camera quality, I might make a video on it with it yet, just to see if if it seems pretty nice. But the selfie camera, to me, the selfie camera is very noticeably, I don't know, the front facing camera is kind of but the selfie camera to me is obviously, for better or worse, is definitely of a higher quality. I like to say kind of worse because I was taking these, my other phone, I would take a selfie and it would be blurry and obscure my hideous, awful skin that makes me look like shit. This one does not do that. This one's very crisp and goddamn, I look like I'm fucking half dead. I guess that's how I look in normal day-to-day life, so I guess the camera shouldn't be lying to people, telling them that I look good when I don't look good. But shit, even just to play, my only mobile console I have right now is my PSP, so shit, just to play some of these fucking mobile games with super silky smooth. I'm shit, it's been nice when I'm laid up still, which hopefully, as the time this video is going to get uploaded, is going to be early on Tuesday morning, so Wednesday, going back to the doctor. Hopefully the x-rays are going to come through and say that my foot is getting healed and I can fucking walk on it again, hopefully soon, because goddamn, it's my birthday next week. And I'm ready for that. I am ready to start walking around again. Let's see, was there anything else? Well, I suppose this is semi-related to the topic at hand. I don't want to cut us off early today. In relation to all this stuff, back when I was in 2012, I think this was probably the first time I ever posted with a trip code that I can recall, because I think I used to post, I name fag posted back in 2011 on Fits, but I don't think I ever trip code posted until I did on R9K in 2012, because I was trying to fight for the right for men to marry 2D women. I said the 3D menace has done too much damage. You know, we're put at the mercy of these creatures. We're put at the mercy of these harpies who want to drag us and take us for all we got. They want to take us to the fucking divorce courts and fucking divorce rape us and take everything we got, us men. You know, this was before Oculus. This was before any of that, which I then later became a proponent of virtual reality women in 2014 and 2015. But I said, you know what? We should be able to marry our body pillows. You know, why is it that, well, this is an argument I used, which, you know, people should, I don't really care if people get mad or not, but I did equate it to gay marriage. I was like, you know, they're getting married. They're not having kids. You know, what's the big deal? You know, why can't I marry my body pillow? You know, what's the big deal? You know, it's discriminatory practice against incel men. I was fired up and I would make threads about this. And I would send messages to my state lawmakers and be like, you need to fucking get on top of this. We need to get this shit figured out. All right. We need to get this figured out. And, we need to figure out a way to make things equal so men aren't having to be forced into this destructive, disgusting system. Although actually that also reminds me on another note, I was reading this screen cap earlier. Somebody posted on Twitter. It was a Reddit thread screen cap where this guy was like about to lose everything. He's like, oh, I'm 40 years old, making like $135,000 a year, but I just got laid off, and I still got mortgage payments, and I have like no money to my name at all, and I'm in thousands of dollars of debt. And people are like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You know, what's the deal? You know, how could this be? What have you done to cause yourself to be in this horrible situation if you've been making so much money for 20 years that you've been working your job? And obviously you probably been making $135,000 a year from day one, but you've been working this job for so many years. What the hell are you doing that you've worked at this job and you don't have any expenses really? You have a house that you've been paying on, you know, and what the fuck's going on? He's like, well, you know, there was a friend who over the last 2 years, I borrowed them $200,000, or I gave them, I don't think he even said borrow. I think he basically was like, well, they were in need, so I gave them $200,000. And people were just like, what the fuck? Like, and they gave you nothing back. You have nothing, you know, there's nothing, you know, what the hell's going on? And they're like, well, let me just say, you know, things have sort of since soured with my friend. They just, you know, they wouldn't even piss on me if I was on fire now, you know. And people on these screen caps are like, you know, why are you not specifying, who this, you keep on saying they, you know, you're not saying he or she, you know, you're making it sound like basically some chick was like catfishing you like from Nigeria or something and making you send wire transfers and now you have no money. And, there was some comments on that, you know, the dude who posted all of his shit was like downvoted like 1,000,000%. I'm so glad I don't use Reddit, man. Like, can you imagine, like, using a fucking website with these people? Like, this is the kind of person who goes on Reddit.com, is the kind of person who is a 40-year-old making $135,000 a year doing computer shit, and they're wire transferring some fake girl on the internet $200,000 just because they think it's going to get them some pussy, and it never does. Oh, shit, man. The thirst epidemic, man. Thirst epidemic. It's a strong, terrible thing. All these Patreons with the trad thoughts and the real thoughts and the, well, I guess the trad thoughts and the I'm not hiding it thoughts, you know, the cosplay thoughts. A little bit of cleavage, a little bit of booty jiggle, you know, it could cause a man to just, you know, give away 80% of his monthly income just to get that nut, you know, and not even for real, not even a real nut, digital nut. I paid 80% of my income for digital nut. Oh. It's a sad state of affairs, my friends. Go buy a fucking Oculus. Don't they have, what's that called? I know, I used to play that game, Artificial, what the hell is that called? Artificial Student or whatever. I still got that on here. On my computer somewhere. Probably not. Artificial Academy, that's what it was. I don't think I have it on here anymore. I used to have Artificial Academy where you could go on and, you know, design. You could put all your waifus. You could make all your custom waifu skins in the game. You could go on and be in this artificial school with them. I played the shit out of that game for a long time. That was some good stuff. You could just, you know, you could do all kinds of whacked out stuff on that game. It was a lot of fun. But I think they made something of that compatible with, like, Oculus Rift. I don't know if it was, like, the exact game or if it was something similar, but shit, dude. I don't want to ever see anybody paying $200,000 to get a digital nut. You know, if that bitch is not, you know, on a leash, ready to give you that suck anytime, any day, anywhere, any fucking time, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's time to go ER. It's time to go ER or go OR, go buy your Oculus Rift and get all the digital pussy you could ever want. You're going to be getting such good returns on your digital nut investment, my friends. What else? What else? What else? What else is related to this topic? Oh boy. Getting a little tight around the collar, guys. I'm just one of those rare times that I choke. Did anybody send me any messages? Okay. Actually, yeah, let me mention this real quick. So, you know, 4K subs. We have crushed the 4K subs. Yes, my friends, we've done it. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribed and been here with me throughout this journey. I really appreciate it, and I want to let you guys know, you know, I mentioned in another video that I was going to celebrate the 4,000 subs by having a drawing commissioned for a t-shirt, and I have a rough draft of this drawing. It was sent to me last night at some point. When was, I guess I don't have the exact time here, sometime last night. And the design is looking crazy. It's looking so good. It's on a like rough draft right now. It's gonna get we're gonna spice it up a little bit with some extra stuff, but oh my goodness. Oh, it's so good. And I can't wait to unveil it for you guys, and I can't wait. We're gonna get like the Teespring whatever set up so you can buy it. I'm gonna try and make it a nice reasonably low price so people can rock it, because I would rather have more people rocking the shirt than have me, you know, whatever. I don't know how much money one of these even makes normally. I'm guessing it's probably not going to be like a $1 million campaign, so I'm not really that worried about that. But I just wanted people to see its design and some good shit. It's very fashionable, and I'm glad that I had my dude Fang Dangler do that work for me. I appreciate that from him very, very much. And I might end up making that maybe my new avatar when that comes out, because I got love for my boy Deadware, but you know, I think to have my face, people have mentioned that before to me. They were like, you know what, if you're going to have your avatar, you know, before it was the Ugly Gang thing, people don't really know what that is. Now it's an egg, so that's more related, but, you know, maybe to have something to do with my face would be the better way to go about it. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, so I'm going to drop this Fun Zone Vulcan Love Skin. This is not a referral link. I'm dropping that in the description. I highly encourage, if you, you know, if that's how you're feeling, you know, hey man, nothing wrong with giving it a little try, $11. You know what, it's like how much a fucking McDonald's value meal costs these days, probably, man. That shit's way out off the roof. I went to Arby's the other day, because when I've been crippled, it's easier for me to go through drive-thrus. I'm trying not to do that too much, obviously, because it's expensive and it's unhealthy. But I have been doing it from time to time, and I went through the Arby's drive-thru the other day, and there's sandwiches for like a sandwich. It was like $7. I'm like, holy shit. I could go and buy a whole goddamn pound of lunch meat even for that much, you know what I mean? A loaf of bread for $1, I could make like 10, and that's not even cooking, you know? That's like going and getting deli meat that's already pre-sliced and all that shit. I'm like, god damn, that's what they're costing for these sandwiches nowadays. I only go when I use coupons, you know, trying to get my buck's worth. But I think, my friends, I think that should be pretty darn close to a gosh darn full episode. And, once again, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Egg Wars. Appreciate y'all having been here today. And I guess I will just see y'all on the next episode. So take care, my friends. We'll see you then.